Hello, this is Dr. Panigrai. Welcome to my biology classes for medical entrance examination. In this session, I am going to talk about the nervous tissue. So let's start. The properties of nervous tissue. Properties of nervous tissue. All nerve tissue originated from ectoderm. That's why these are the ectodermal in origin. Nerve tissue somehow it has the power of regeneration. The nerve tissue is composed of neurons or the nerve cells. And these neurons are fiber-like structure. That's why these nerve cells also known as the nerve fiber, and such nerve fiber or neuron act as the structural and the functional unit of nervous tissue. The nerve tissue or the nerve cell, it has no power of division because it has no centrosome. That's why it has no power of division of the cell. The very interesting property of the nervous tissue is that it has the power of responding to the external stimuli, and this is known as the irritability. And another more property of nervous tissue is that it can conduct the nerve impulse from one part of the body to the another part of the body, and this is known as the conductivity. So these are the properties of nerve tissue. Now come to the composition of nerve tissue. What are the components? Those form the nervous tissue. Actually, the nervous tissue composed of neurons or the nerve cells, as well as some other kind of cells are present. Those act as the packing cells or the supporting cells among the neurons. So these are the glial cells or neuroglia or supporting cell. It also known as the packing cell. Each nerve cell has two parts. One is the nucleated portion where nucleus and the cytoplasm present. Such part is known as the cyton. The nucleated portion of the neuron is the cyton, and the other extensions are present. And these extensions or the processes of neurons are known as the neurites. These neurites again two types. Some are unbranched. This is known as the axon, and some are the branched processes are present in neuron. These are known as the dendrites. Dendrites, or you may write dendron also. Dendrite or dendron. So this is the composition of nerve tissue. Now come to the structural and the functional unit of nerve tissue. That is the neuron or the nerve cell. Actually, the nerve cell, it is the elongated in structure. That's why it is regarded as the longest cell of our body. Each neuron has two parts. As you know, one is the cyton or the nucleated portion, which is spherical or oval in shape, and another part or the processes of neurons, these may be the dendrites and the axon form the neurites. So this is the typical structure of neuron. It has two parts, the nucleated portion which is oval or which is the spherical in shape, which is known as the soma. It also known as cell body, or it also known as perikaryon. So many numbers of cell bodies or the perikaryon forms the ganglia, singular ganglion. Ganglion. It forms the ganglion or the ganglia in our nervous system. So this is the cyton. The cyton which contain the cytoplasm. In case of nerve cell or the neurons, so cytoplasm is known as the neuroplasm. Such neuroplasm contains some fibular structure. These are known as the neurofibrils. Neurofibrils. Such neurofibrils also present in axon also. These are the neurofibrils, and this slender portion, this is known as the axon. Such neurofibrils also present in dendron also. The neuroplasm also contains some characteristic granules, and these are regarded as the modification of RNA. And these granules also associated with rough endoplasmic reticulums, and these red dots or the granules are known as Nissil's granules. Such Nissil granules secretes neurotransmitter at the time of conduction of nerve impulse, neurotransmitters like acetylcholine, GABA, etc. And such Nissil granules actually absent in axon region. The axon region where the Nissil granules absent, but Nissil granules present in dendron also. And this is the cyton from where the axon arised, and the portion from where axon extend, this region is known as the axon hillock. Axon hillock. Somewhere, maybe this region, somewhere this portion, this is known as the initial segment, and such initial segment also continue with the axon hillock, and this is the region where the nerve impulse actually generated, and this region, that's why known as the trigger zone. This is known as the trigger zone. So this is the axon hillock from where axon rises, and this is the trigger zone, and this is the cyton. Cyton has two types of processes. You can say these are the processes. These are the processes. One is the dendron, and dendron again branched into dendrites. These are known as the dendrites. These dendrites actually convey the nerve impulse towards the cyton. That's why this dendron or dendrites is known as the afferent processes. These are the afferent processes. And such dendron are many number for a single neuron, and the size is smaller, they are branched as compared to the axon. Axon, it is the unbranched and the longer, elongated, slender structure, and somehow such axon also form a lateral branch. At that time, such lateral branch actually known as the collateral axon. This is known as the collateral axon. Such axon also contains the cytoplasm. Inside the axon, such cytoplasm is known as the exoplasm. Such exoplasm is lack of micelle granules and ribosome, but rich in mitochondria and the neurofibrils. So axon or exoplasm contains the more number of mitochondria and the neurofibrils, but it is devoid of, it lack of micelle granules as well as the ribosome, endoplasmic reticulum also. And here you can find another thing, and this is known as the collateral axon, and the outermost covering of the axon, which is known as the exolemma. This is known as the exolemma. This is known as the exolemma. Some of the neurons, they again covered by another covering on the surface of the exolemma, and such covering or the such sheath actually composed of by the special type of cells, spiral cells. These cells are known as the Schwann cells. Such Schwann cells works around the axon and which forms a sheath. Such sheath is known as the myelin sheath, or this is known as the medullary sheath around the axon. So this is known as the sheath. This sheath is known as the myelin sheath or the covering. This is known as the myelin sheath. Such myelin sheath actually composed of by a particular special type of cell known as the Schwann cell. So these are the Schwann cell, individual Schwann cell. Here is individual Schwann cell. And the nucleus of such Schwann cell present somehow alternately, and which forms a very interesting figure, this. And on the surface of such Schwann cell, there is a covering of a thin layer. This is known as the neurolemma. Actually, such neurolemma, this is the neurolemma. This is the extension of Schwann cell, extension of sheath of Schwann cell. The outermost covering of the myelin sheath, this is the neurolemma. This is the neurolemma. Such myelin sheath, it is not continuous. It is interrupted by so many gaps. So in between two neighboring Schwann cell, there is a gap, and this gap is known as node of Ranvier. This gap is known as the node of Ranvier. So this is another node, this is another node, node of Ranvier. In between two nodes, this portion or this region is known as the internode. Internode. Such squamous cell actually rich in lipids and protein. Lipids and protein which form the sheath, which forms the covering, which insulate the axon and which helps for the increase of the speed of the conduction of the nerve impulse. About 20 times more conduction of the speed of the nerve impulse as compared to those having no squamous cells. The axon which terminate into terminal fibers. These are the terminal fibers. These are the terminal fibers. These terminal fibers once again terminates into a ball-like structure. These are known as the axon button. Axon button. And such axon button also communicate with the other neurons through a dendrite. So there is a junction in between two neurons. So the axon of one neuron and the dendron of another neuron, they form a special structure or the junction which is known as the synapse. Which is known as synapse. So this is the total structure of the neurons. This neuron actually convey the nerve impulse away from the cyton. That's why such axon, this is known as the efferent process. This is the efferent processes of the cyton or the neuron, and this is the dendrites are the afferent processes of the cyton. Those having the myelin sheath, such neurons are known as the myelinated neurons or medullated neurons. So those neurons having myelin sheath or medullary sheath, these neurons are known as the myelinated neuron or medullated neuron. These myelinated neuron or medullated neuron most probably found in brain or spinal cord, where they form white color structure known as the white matter. Because the myelinated or medullary sheath or the myelin sheath, these are the white in color, so it forms a white area in the central nervous system, and this is known as the white matter. And those neurons having no myelin sheath, these are known as the non-myelinated or non-medullated neuron. And such neuron also present, or such neuron actually present throughout body, but here they form gray color structure, and which is known as the gray matter. So in our spinal cord or the brain, where the gray matter present, it means that such area actually reach in the nerve-mediated neurons. So this is the total structure of neurons. So now come to the structure of synapse. Synapse actually it is the junction in between two neurons, or you can say this is the junction of one axon and another dendron or the dendrites. So the most probably in our brain one neuron can communicate with 25,000 numbers of other neurons. So suppose that this is the magnifying structure of a one synapse. This is the ending region of the axon and which forms a ball-like structure. This is known as the presynaptic nerve, and the green color structure, this is the starting region of dendron, or you can say this is the dendrites, which forms the cup-shaped structure and surround the presynaptic knob. This is known as the postsynaptic knob. In between two knobs there is a gap, and this gap is known as the synaptic cleft. This is known as the synaptic cleft. The presynaptic knob, which is rich in so many, it is rich in the mitochondria. And presynaptic knob also contains the synaptic granules. These are the synaptic granules which contains the neurotransmitter or neurogranules, and these are the mitochondria. This structure actually discovered by the Charles Sherrington, and the junction of such axon, this portion is the axon, this is the dendron, which is known as the synapse. So this is the total structure of the neuron. And now come to the another part of the nervous system, another part of the nervous tissue. This is the packing cell or the neuroglia. Such packing cell or the neuroglia, which the neuroglia or the packing cell, these are three types. The astrocytes, these are star-shaped, having so many number of cytoplasmic projections, and oligodendrocytes. As compared to the astrocytes, the cytoplasmic processes are smaller in size and lesser in number. And another is the microglia. Such microglia or microglial cell, it is important because such cell actually present in brain, and such cell act as the phagocytic cell, which engulf the foreign matter if enter into our nervous system, means in our brain. So it eliminates the foreign matter from our brain. So it is very important, the microglia. So I hope you enjoy this session. If you like, then click on my next session of this chapter, where I will talk about the different types of neurons and classification of different types of neurons. Thank you for